Yeah, so welcome to Coffee with a Purpose. I think I'm hearing some echoing there. And welcome to November, everyone. And welcome, most importantly, to Paul Carew, Director for Veteran Services, and general great guy about town, who's going to talk to us about everything that his group is doing, and particularly the Veterans Day observances next week, and also give us, as I understand it, a brief introduction to the relatively new Natick group, Black, what is it? Black Lives Belong?
Lives Belong.
Yeah, great. So relatively small crowd. Should we do introductions anyway? I think people know everybody. Bruno, you know everybody here that you're seeing? Pretty much.
Don't know everybody's name though.
Yeah, well then let's do introductions, at least for your benefit. Let's start with the folks at MetroWorks.
Okay, let's start with Carrie.
Sure. Carew Butfield, Keep Natick Beautiful, Repair Cafe, Rotarian, a few other things, property management, repair fix it guide, so
We do it all, right?
yeah, try to.
And I'm Bruno Giles. I don't know what my title is, but
Somewhere around them.
I'm the guy with the brightest shirt in the room.
There you go. And a mean guy on the drums too, as I understand it.
Thank you.
Why it's so familiar looking.
Yeah.
I'm Cindy Mates. I'm 5 years in Natick, and I'm a trail steward and a Keep Natick Beautiful person. Supportive, pick her up.
Okay, Paul, we'll get to introduce someone when we start the program with
Good morning, I think I'm a guest speaker this morning. Veteran Service Director for Natick, 15.5 years now, 40 years of national service rep, and all sorts of stuff I'm gonna briefly talk about this morning.
Great.
I'm Donna McKenzie, kind of a woman about town. I have my hand in a lot of other things, and these discussions are always wonderful. Glad to be here.
And Martin Kessel, co-host here at Coffee with a Purpose on site and with else town meeting member, open space committee and various other things. And Judy just.
Hi there, I'm Judy Dixon. I'm a housing equity advocate for Family Promise Metro West. I've been involved with PATH for Adaptive Opportunities and Spark Kindness and FCC and the Natick Public Schools. I'm happy to be here and hear about your work.
Great.
And that's it for here.
Great, cool. Kathleen.
A little slow here with COVID brain. So I'm Kathleen Donovan. I'm on the library's board of trustees. I also volunteer with Keep Natick Beautiful, and I'll just give a plug for the library's Veterans Oral History Project. For 25, 26 years, we've been recording veterans' stories, and we now have something like 360 of them. So, and there will be a special event on the Common this week. I'm hoping, Paul, you'll mention that, but if you need some details, I can fill in on that.
Awesome.
Okay, he's got it.
You see it, Kathleen?
Actually, it's not on the camera now, but it'll be there.
Yeah.
I have a flyer.
Yeah, great. Bill.
Hi, welcome, Paul. Good to see you, and looking forward to what you have to say. CWAP regular. I do some Keep Natick Beautiful and trail work. I am also on the Community Preservation Committee in town. Welcome.
Thanks, Bill. Rick.
Hi, Paul. Glad to see you again, and look forward to hearing you. I'm all Eco Natick volunteer, as is Bill, though he's one of the pillars of it, Sarah, and town meeting member, and so on and so on. But very interested in the activities going on this week and what's happening. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Rick. Carol.
Good morning, Paul. I'm Carol Berkowitz. I'm a 50-year resident of Natick. I was a 30-year special ed teacher in Framingham. I live on Lake Cochituate and do work for the lake to preserve it. And I'm excited about being here. Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. And Sally.
Good morning. I'm I meant to be there in person this morning. I was going to be downtown with my colleagues, but I'm here on Zoom and I'm really welcoming you all. I'm very touched to hear Paul talk to us about this very seasonable time of respect and thoughts for our veterans. And that's it.
Thanks, Sally. Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome, Paul. Good to see you. I am a town meeting member, also along with Bill, member of Community Preservation Committee and member of FCC Natick, involved with Eco Natick. And that's enough about me.
And I'm Doug. I moderate these sessions along with Martin, and just kind of sit in all the other volunteer activities that you guys all sign up for. I help out at the church. That's about it. All right, so Paul, let's turn it over to you.
Boy, all familiar faces I see here this morning. I actually met Carol for the first time in person at the ADA event up at the high school. It was nice to meet you, Carol. So I'm the Veteran Services Director in Natick, and I'm just gonna give you a little history on how this position was created and why it was created. It was there's a Veteran Service VSO assigned to every community in the Commonwealth. Some communities, like in the Berkshires, there might be 12 under one VSO, but he handles all 12. Maybe with a couple of part-timers, but every community is covered. And the reason they started these Veteran Services officers positions was it's actually a post-Civil War benefit law. It was started at the end of the Civil War to protect veterans going home from combat. And they did that by providing benefits, cash benefits, medical benefits, food, shelter. And we continue that tradition to this day. The same thing. So, and it started, Chapter 115 started in Massachusetts. And it's actually unique to Massachusetts still. You would think other states and so forth would follow our lead, but not many have. There's some counties. Most states have what's called county VSOs versus community VSOs, and and still they don't have. Chapter 115 is a mass general law, and this again this law continues to this day. Myself and my assistant Rosa Heffernan, a big part of our job is to help veterans, widows, spouses, families of veterans in need, financially in need. Financially, I mean income and assets. And we don't count the help anyone's home or automobile, first automobile, as an asset. They need those two items to survive. So we don't count your home, your first home. You have two homes, you probably don't need my benefits. But yeah, so it's and you think about Natick, and you know, Natick's I would say what, middle class, they're maybe a little above middle class financial. But we have 25 plus clients on our rolls that we help every month. And it's really a nice feeling to be able to do this for the folks around here. Now,
So you provide them direct funding, Paul? Is that what you're saying? You actually, yeah.
Yeah, they'll come in, we'll working on 2 new, cases right now. And they come in all shapes and sizes. We just started,
Sorry.
we just started a claim, a case for, a 30-year-old woman. 30-year-old woman, 2 weeks ago, woke up to her husband dead in bed. And he was a sole breadwinner. She has a 2-year-old child. And she's never worked. She's never worked. She's never handled a checkbook. She's never handled the mortgage. Nothing, utilities. And when he died, all of their income, he worked for high tech. So there was no follow up with money, income. So she went from a very, very, very comfortable lifestyle to having absolutely nothing. And she doesn't even know if he had any life insurance. You know,
Yikes.
my guess is he probably did, working for high tech, but she doesn't know at this moment, so we're helping her in the interim. And we help, like I was saying, financially, which would be cash, you know, help them with medical bills, all medical bills, dental, eyeglasses, one of the most important is helping with rent or mortgage. And the unfortunate thing is we can't pick up the entirety and say they have a mortgage on a condominium, $4,000 a month. We can't pick that entire mortgage up. We'll pick up a portion of it, which will keep them in the condo or the house. But not in entirety, and financially, we can help them, and we can help them out to around $1,600 a month. Right, which is not a lot, not a lot of money for a woman and a 2-year-old child. You know, because that's going to include payment, utilities also, the $1,600, not just food and clothing for her daughter. So
Yeah, I see Rick's got his hand up. Rick, did you want to ask a question? And actually, before I ask, I'll just ask the group. Does anyone know an R. Hafner? It's someone in the waiting room, which we generally don't.
That's my assistant.
Oh,
That's your
okay.
assistant. Oh, awesome. We will let her in.
We're getting
Great.
suspicious of, people at this point, but
Thanks
thank
for
you.
identifying that. Great.
Yeah.
I'm looking up there, I didn't see it.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
was trying to do it this week. Cindy has her hand up too. I assume it's a relevant question.
I'm curious about the funding.
Yeah, the funding is 75% state funding and 25% local funding. So for every dollar, the state will pay 75 cents on the dollar.
Mhm.
That's what ordinary benefits like
Okay.
cash, mortgages and so forth. Ordinary benefits are reimbursed by 75%. There's other item that we also pick up, one of them being burial. If you're on our rolls, you're eligible for burial.
But
And-
where does the funds come from though, Paul, for that? Do they come from the town, from the state, from the federal budget?
Yeah, the
State
state
budget?
reimburses us 75%.
Okay,
And the rest of it is approved through town meeting every year. As you guys probably hear, veteran services needs X amount of dollars. That's where a lot of that money goes. Majority of the money goes to chapter 115 benefits and salaries, of course, Rosa myself.
Okay,
Does that amount from the state grow commensurate to the number of people that you take on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. When I first took this job 15 years ago, it was interesting. I took over from, a guy that was in the position for 19 and a half years. All right, 19 and a half years. He kind of knew his stuff, but not too well. And he didn't know how to spell budget. So I went before the finance committee 15 and a half years ago. They said, can you work on your budget? I says, okay. Do you have one from last year? Oh, you never did a budget. Oh, so you're gonna start with me? I says, which is fine, I know how to do a budget, obviously. So they never had a budget for my office. And now, every year, now I have half, Rose that work with me, but I've done budgets for years and years. I've done, numerous nonprofits, QuickBooks setup and budgets and all that stuff. I've been doing that on the side, as a side gig. Nobody from the town on this, right?
let's get Rick's question in. Rick, what? You're on mute, Rick. You got to come off mute.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry. I was curious about how you budget, but first I just want to go back to your history, which I appreciate you talking about quickly. Is it right to assume that the financial aid that went to veterans in the Civil War went to veterans of both the Confederacy and the Union? Or is that,
that's a good question. I was waiting for that one. It started, Massachusetts started the Chapter 115 benefits, the only state that did that after the war. So other veterans from other states didn't have the benefits that Massachusetts had. And I'm not that much on the history, but I don't believe the other states. I know all the states in the Union, in the Confederacy, I know they all tried to help out the veterans insurance. But what Massachusetts did was a law, a lifetime law to help protect veterans. Then, in the future, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so, but is there federal money now subsidizing this with the states? Is it state money? And
there's always the feds are always stick their fingers in the pot. Especially when it comes to election time. I think we have an election coming up now. They all of a sudden you'll see from the US Senate, that's a very important program that Massachusetts has, that other nations, other states don't have. The Chapter 115 benefit for the veterans. They have no idea what it is, but they say, well, why don't we throw a few $1 million towards their profits? And they do that. They do that. Generally, only around an election cycle.
Yeah, it must make it kind of tough for you to budget then, because needs like this woman that you mentioned, the 30-year-old who's, who suddenly lost her husband. I mean, how do you anticipate and budget for something like that? On the local side, particularly.
On the local side, the way I do it is I started doing the budgets. Nobody did budgets before I got here and there. What I did was, I did on the high side. Okay, so I see when I started here and there, we have 14 cases. And this was 2010.
Yeah.
So my first year with 14 cases, I said, well, I'm gonna do my job. So these 14 cases are gonna increase this year. And by saying doing my job, I'm gonna go out to the community, to the low income housing, to the elderly housing, and see who's in need. And I did that. And very quickly, the numbers started going up. But it is such that majority of my clientele are elderly. Right, they might be a couple, they might be a widower, they might be a widow. But there's an older population. The 30-year-old is not unique. I have younger applicants on. Some of them are on chapter 115 because he is 37-year-old veteran. And because of circumstances in his life, he's not able to work. Right, and that's a combination of mental health, in this case, and or criminal activity. So he's waiting to go before the courts. And you're still eligible for benefits, that's something, until you're criminally convicted. And then you stop with the benefits. But he still hasn't seen his day in court. He's with the Veterans Treatment Board in Middlesex County as it is. And I'm on that, by the way. I helped start that with Judge Fabry, whose last day is today. Yeah, so he, until he goes to court, if he's found guilty, the benefits stop. I don't believe with the Veterans Treatment Court, which I started in 2015 with my Judge Fabry, Veterans Treatment Court is rehabilitation versus incarceration. Treatment versus incarceration. So we're probably gonna get this guy, you know, my long background in county jail and state prisons, working folks, by the way, not incarcerated. My long time in these two areas, this guy should, if I was a judge, I'd sentence him to a couple of years behind bars. That's how bad his crimes are. But thank God I'm not a judge.
There's a job for everybody. Well, Donna,
I have a question, like, when you have a situation where your funds unfortunately can't meet all the needs, you must have, do you have like a network of community organizations that you might reach out to and say, is there any way you might help for a very short time in this circumstance? Like if you've got a situation with a family and a child, like the Natick Service Council does Christmas gifts and things like that. And they would be like, people would be more than happy to help a child in those circumstances.
And me and Rosa both utilize those services, right, Rosa? We utilize alternate. You're on mute, by the way, Rosa.
yeah, just come off mute, Rosa. There you go.
I'm not sure if you can hear me. I had my audio on, but it was muted.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you now.
Good morning. Yes, we do utilize the Natick Service Council. That is one of the resources that we go to.
Place to turn.
Also things like Jewish Family Services.
I utilize them.
And St. Vincent de Paul, or, because
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought when you were talking, you have to have a rich network of community people to make this work, and you seem like you would, so.
You know me, I'm everywhere.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so I utilize every resource that's out there. I utilize. But we
I know
still,
we peppered you with questions right away, but we should let you get back to telling us
Well,
things in the order you wanted to tell us. So.
I like the Q&A stuff, to be honest with you, so.
Yeah.
I got a couple of flyers here, but if any of these guys want to take them, that's the next part of my presentation.
Maybe you guys
So we
can
talk-
hold them up to the screen too at some point.
I can't, I can't share it. We don't have it electronically. Do we?
No, but if you hold it in front of your face and kind of like the
Well,
camera will think you're
What I'll do,
Yeah.
what I'll do is I'll copy it. I already copied and scanned all this stuff done. What I'll do is after we're done here this morning, I'll send it out to everybody here.
Nice. Okay.
People in the building to take copies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you folks, Doug, you, Sarah, and Bill and Rick and so forth, and Suzanne, I'll send it out to you folks if you like the copy.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
would be good. Mhm.
Sure, in 2010, you started with 14 cases. How many do you have now, approximately?
What do we have on it? Right now, Rosa, exactly.
15 cases. 15, Paul.
Yeah, what happens is we build up, and then unfortunately, one of the things that happens, because majority of our cases, older. And the two cases I mentioned earlier, Carrie, aren't approved yet. Okay, they're not approved yet. They're not, they say in sports, they're not slam dunks. You know what I mean? They're both gonna get benefits, but neither one's a slam dunk. But with Rose's diligent work habits and ethics, we'll get it done.
Starting off, yeah, thanks.
So we talked about Rosa, you have the numbers better than I do right now. Which qualify folks for chapter 115. 200% of the poverty level.
That's right. And your assets, do you want to talk about income and assets?
Yes, please.
So for a family of one, your income cannot exceed $2,500. For a family of two, your income cannot exceed $3,400. And your asset and your asset level for a family of one cannot exceed $8,400. And for a family of two, it's $16,600.
And this has recently gone up, folks. This was right, Rosa.
Right. Every year it changes.
So, yeah, we've gotten, the state has been much more generous in the program. I gave them the whole history, Rosa, on where it started, post-Civil War, first, you know, and all that stuff, so, I'll give it to you some other time. Okay. So, these handouts, Doug, that they were showing you. This is one of a number of PowerPoints I put together. And this one deals with my tasks and my responsibilities, page by page, and also has that's involving. And, but it's pretty much about 19 slides that say what I do on a day-to-day basis. You know, tasks and responsibilities. We help with applications, all applications. We also have social workers in our building. That, you know, we talked about resources earlier. All the social workers are resources for me and Rosa. All right, they handle the social security applications more on a daily basis than we would. We'll send them when I put a new applicant on, as the applicant's of age to work, I have to set up a employment program for them, employment plan. So unemployment compensation. And of course, I think I mentioned earlier, I got 41 years this month as a national service rep. So, which means I got it accredited through the Veterans Administration 41 years ago. I gotta take a retesting every 5 years, which involves about 80 weeks of training, retraining. I don't think I need to be retrained after 41 years. But if that's what it takes, I'll do it. And so, another thing we do is, is grievance counseling. We get a lot of times, we're the first responders. We're the first responders, woman whose husband has nothing. She comes to me and Rosa. You know, I do counseling. On Saturday mornings, I do what's called cognitive behavioral therapy along with smart recovery. Smart recovery is a cognitive behavioral therapy form of addictions. And it deals with both physical addictions and mental health addictions. And I deal with both. I'm a recovered, I'm a recovered addict, so, you know, a lot of years recovery. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm good to go. I can't tell my clients they're good to go. It's a lifetime ordeal. You know, you're sober 37 years, well, that's good. One day at a time, Jim. You know,
Yep.
And that's what I tell them, one day at a time. Another thing me and Rose are responsible for, I'm throwing you under the bus this morning, Rose. Another thing we're responsible for is, which I'm gonna talk about next, is the big military ceremonies, holidays. Memorial Day used to be the most time-consuming holiday of the year. You know, between putting out flowers, we don't put flowers, strangely, putting flags on every grave in the cemeteries. We have 4,000 veterans buried in the Navy. Over 4,000. And me and Rosa, our office is responsible for making sure we have volunteers to put flags on every grave. I don't think we got a complaint this year, where else? We usually have 2 or 3 inquiries. And these are all volunteers. Right?
How many volunteers, Paul? I mean, for 4,000, that must take a lot of people.
It does, it does. And what I do is, I actually start the process the first or second week in April for Memorial Day, right? Just in case everybody in there tells Paul Carew, we ain't helping you this year, do it yourself.
Oh, no.
You know, then I'll have to put 4,000 on myself. But you know, being a long-time Natick guy, I've been doing flags on the graveyards in Natick for 45 years. As a Native veteran. So when I came to this job, and that was my assignment, I said, I get that one down pretty good. You know? You know? So yeah, but you know what I love about Native folks? You know, you guys are great proponents of this. Volunteers in the Native. Oh my God, when I look for volunteers, I go on the Doug and Sarah show and Coffee with Purpose. And Martin, I'm sorry, Martin Hessel show, Doug, Martin, and Doug and Martin show, and come on and say, hey, guys, I need volunteers. I need volunteers. This is a real volunteer to ask. I need volunteers for Veterans Day to go in the 2 nursing homes in here. One nursing home has 26 veterans on the same floor, the same unit. 26 veterans. Going back to starting with Vietnam, who are now in their 70s and 80s. So, and the other one is that's Elliott Healthcare on Central Street. Then we have Whitney Place on Route 9, and they have a lot of veterans. So, anybody interested, just give me a call or give Rose a call. I'll leave our numbers on the air before we finish this morning. So I belong to a number of organizations today. We have the Charles River Rotary. We have They have my good friend Carrew's neighborhood, right? And they're great sources of volunteerism. I haven't had a chance to go before your rotary.
I remember you talking. Not too
Oh,
long ago, yes.
They had to put a net on me and drag me out of the room. And enough is enough for the look at
After
it.
3 encores,
Yeah, it was really, I loved it, it was great. So, yeah, so.
Hey, Paul, when another veteran passes away, how does your office get notified? I mean, you know,
Yeah,
is there something in, yeah,
most of the time, Doug, because I work with a lot of veterans in there. And a lot of the veterans with VA claims. And so if the person's receiving benefits from our office, the first call they make is our office.
okay,
Because they know we can help them with every detail. From just sitting down with the next of kin grievance work to setting up the burials. A lot of veterans now are wanting to be buried in either state cemeteries, no cost, or national cemetery, which is Vaughan, and no cost. And that's, I don't think that's the main reason they do it, but there's no cost to the burials. But it's, a lot of times it's the veteran's choice. When I go, I don't want my family to have any added expenses. You know, Rosa said she'd dig the hole, bury it. But yeah, so I don't want my family a need burden. I do have my insurance and so forth. But I want the easiest way done, you know? Send me down the Vaughan. And you can be buried with your spouse. No, no, you can't. I already have a spouse.
No, I'm not being worried about being buried today. I just thought of another question and I just thought. Funeral homes, it seems like they used to do a lot more for veterans and have they kind of pulled back and is that tougher on you?
They unfortunately, without naming any funeral homes, they have pulled back a bit. When the old John Everett, Joe Everett family ran the funeral home here in Ada. What was the other funeral home in Ada? Mitchell's?
Mitchell's.
Mitchell,
Mitchell's.
Doherty,
Doherty, my dad was buried out of Doherty. So these funeral homes were closer to our communities. They're more engaged with our communities. So if I need help with a burial, I've gone to many meetings with the funeral home and the family of the veteran or the widow. I've gone there and sat down with them. That's a tough thing to do if you've never done it. You know, I buried both my parents and my younger sister, so I've been there, done that. I know how hard it is on folks. And it's good to have this.
Yeah.
You know, especially now, it's not the same family atmosphere, gee, that's terrible. In the funeral home as it used to be, you know. You walk in there, Joe Everett, you know, and he'd have a pot of tea and a dish of cookies, you know. That's the old fashioned
yeah.
way of doing things, you know. So yeah,
I just wondered.
yeah, we help them from the beginning to the end.
okay.
I'm going to hop it on.
But I want to real quickly, let's jump off this in into the events, which I know everybody's chomping at the bit. We'll hear about the events for this coming week.
Right.
But for this week,
This next, 1 week from today.
1 week from today, right?
Yep.
What's today's date? Fourth.
Fourth.
Right. Yeah. But before, so yeah, before Veterans Day, we've got this oral history project thing that Kathleen was talking about.
We have a number of things involving the schools. We have that the library's starting this year, a brand new event, in this Veterans Story Walk. Can you see that one?
Can I look at that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, actually,
Yeah, I can actually share a screen on that one that I think.
You show it to them.
Paul, can I talk about that for a minute? Is that all right?
So I was gonna jump right to you.
Okay, I thought you would. So this is brand new. We're like a pioneer on this event, and some of the other state offices are very interested in what we're doing. So once again, Natick is with veterans. We are in the lead. So the idea here is these wonderful oral histories we've been recording for over 25 years. We want to get the word out about them. They're a tremendous resource. You can get to them from the library webpage. You can sort them by conflict, different ways to find someone. You can search a particular name. So in this case, what we've done is selected about 150 representative veterans. It's called a story walk because we have a large sign, much like you'd see for an event, with the veterans' picture, the veterans' rank, and what conflict they served in. And there's a QR code, so you can click on that and go directly to the audio for the interview. So our hope is this will raise awareness of these wonderful stories that are being preserved. And hopefully it will be lovely for people to do the walk around the common, 150 of these signs, see if there's a family name they recognize, click on a QR code for someone they don't know anything about, and just listen a little bit to their story. I think it's just going to be a super event. And once again, Natick is a trailblazer here.
And the Natick Morse Institute Library is a trailblazer again.
Thank you,
Give
Paul.
yourself credit.
Thank
This
you,
is
Paul.
great. Starting back in the day when Joan Craig.
Yeah.
Started the oral history project in Natick.
That's
And
right.
I was walking out of the library Pearl Harbor night one night, Joni and myself and a couple of others. And one of the veterans, I remember John McGilvery, Eddie Carr said, why don't we make videos of our stories? And Joan Craig ran right with it. And how many do we have now, Kathleen?
We have about 360 of them.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
And I actually have a list I think you might have sent out of the 150 Natick veterans that are being recognized on the continent.
Yep. All right, so we encourage you to go. The last thing to mention are the dates. So the signs will be put up the morning after the election. So this Wednesday, they'll put them up in the morning. They'll be ready for viewing by the afternoon. And then they will be up on the common for a week. So try to find a moment to go down and wander around and look for some faces and names, listen a little bit to some of these stories.
Just so you know, Kathleen, I'm encouraging my veteran population to go down there.
Excellent.
Like me, I'm gonna go down there, stand next to my son.
Yes.
Hey,
That sounds
great.
That's right. That's right.
Are you in it? That's
You're
great.
like popping out of the sign.
Yeah, I am.
That 3D sound. And so Kathleen, if I understand you, besides being able to do the QRC code and bring up a story, you could also go online and do your search.
Yeah. Yes. One way to get there directly is to go to the library's homepage. And if you scroll down, you'll see a button that says Natick Research. And if you click on that, the page that comes up about partway down, there's a link to the Veterans Oral History Project.
Awesome.
Once you get there, again, you can sort it in different ways, slice and dice your search, but the stories are wonderful.
I want to say that, at a very tragic time in our town, when we experienced the untimely death of someone who I knew was a veteran, I wanted to know more about him and his service, and I went and I used it, and it probably added to my grief and mourning, but it was a wonderful moment to learn more about
And
him.
that's important in grieving,
Yeah.
right? You gotta.
That's an incredible
But I did-
idea, an
I
event.
knew an individual from Natick that passed suddenly 20+ years in the military and loved the guy, good friend and so forth. But I really didn't know a lot about, I knew he served a couple tours, deployments overseas, battalion, regimental. I mean, I knew all this stuff. I still didn't know anything about it.
Mhm.
The same thing with me. How many of you know what
Yeah.
branch of the service I served in?
I think I saw your car. Maureen?
Rick, did you want to chime in?
I parked behind you and I was like, I bet that's Paul's car.
Yeah, my car is
She did.
probably the best known car in Natick, because I got the Marine Corps Vietnam veterans plates on it, and I have an American flag hanging through the window.
Yeah.
Right?
Rick, go ahead there.
Yeah, I got a question for Kathleen. Did the schools know about this, and has there been any effort on their part to, for instance, get a class to go over there, if they're a history class, American history class, for instance, in the high school, whenever they do that, junior, senior year now?
That's a great question, Rick, and I can check with our director about that. I will tell you that this week, the library has co-sponsored a veterans breakfast at the Kennedy Middle School for years. And so it's a way that we're helping the middle school age students be in touch with vets who are still with us, who want to come and
Yeah.
share their story. So we've been involved there. In general, we work hard to stay connected with the schools, but it's a terrific idea. Thank you.
No, it is a great idea, Rick, and along with the breakfast, which I'll be attending on Friday, I'm also responsible with the school administrative offices and what's called reading in the classrooms. I helped start this program with Dr. Anna Nolan years and years ago. And this program, we bring veterans to each and every kindergarten and first grade classroom in Natick. Right now we're down to 5, 10, 15, just shy of 20, 19 classrooms. And each classroom has this year I was very fortunate. Native Soldier Assistance Command has 14 of them recently graduated soldiers are gonna come. They don't look much older than the kids. They're gonna come and read to these kids in the classrooms. And that's one of my most proud moments in Natick, was helping start this program. But at each class, I'm gonna bring the teachers, the administrators, and so forth, the flyer or Veterans Walk on the Common, so they can spread the word to the kids. There'll be plenty of them at the Veterans Breakfast at Kennedy. The 8th graders are the perfect age. I've spoken to them many times about veterans, Vietnam, climate of the times, etc. That's the perfect age. Here, bring this home. Tell your parents about this. You know, they might know somebody on the list.
Well, I'm sure I'm not alone in this group, for having grown up with a parent, my father, who was a World War II veteran for 5 years in his 30s, and virtually never talked about it. You know, didn't answer, questions. Because he was older, he was not in combat. But he was abroad, and our schools never did anything like this. And I grew up without any sense of what, the stories of that service, other than what you see on television and, that kind of a story. And I just think it's so fortunate that we have a strong, veteran services organization with you and Rosa in this league, and working with Kathleen and others on these programs is just, you know, this probably why Natick will continue to have a higher population of being a higher population of you know, I don't want to call it an army town, but whatever the term was used at the Memorial Field dedication, that we the percentage of Natick you know, men and women who have served in the military in foreign wars. Anyway,
Natick, Rick, Natick's always had the highest per capita, or near the highest per capita of service in each and every war, each and every war. And that includes the highest and second highest per capita, unfortunately, in killed in actions. Each and every war. That's from World War II. I'm talking World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and we were very, very fortunate. We didn't lose anybody in the newest war, 20-year war. No casualties.
well, I hope the story of this town gets out a little further, particularly if we have a president who doesn't understand why people would give their lives in service in foreign countries.
Let's not go too far down that road this morning.
No, I wasn't going there. I'm just saying. Yeah. It's a story that needs to get out beyond Natick.
And I think it's.
You know, Rick, me and Rosa just came back from a 3-day VSO convention. You know, I talk about VSOs in every community. There are 200 plus VSOs there. And I spent the majority of my time, because I've been going to these classes way too long. So I don't have to take all these classes. So I spent most of my time going around smoozing. Hey, how many dedicated squares do you have in Natick?
How many are there? That's something I wanted to ask you about.
I came into office in 2015. I've done 63.
Wow.
Yeah.
When I ask people, they say 10, 12, 15. 63. Other communities, Rosa, 10, you know.
How many total, do you know? Like 63 in your tenure and then?
Then before my tenure, I'd say maybe a dozen before my tenure. And then I also was responsible for the Marine Park by the train station downtown, those memorials. I started those in 1997, 98 as president of the Native Veterans Council. We raised all the money for that. We raised probably $50,000 to build those. Right, and but you know, I can brag about that stuff when I go away. I'm not bragging about my work. I'm bragging about Native community engagement with the veterans.
Yeah.
You know, where else? I bet there's another coffee with a purpose doing this morning, Doug.
So I remember a few years ago with the squares, I recall there was an Eagle Scout project wherein the kid put together QR code links and information so that people could you know, find out more about the particular one or more veterans. I know there are some squares. There's one near us that honors like 6 people from one family. It's amazing. Has that kept up with the QR code link to
Actually, this young man is now a sophomore in college. And of course, he's completed his Eagle Scout project, but he's still doing his QR code.
That is
so he's updating them to himself, huh?
Wow, that is so cool. Yeah, when I heard that, you know, our middle son was an Eagle Scout, so very aware of all the stuff one has to go through to get an Eagle Scout project done. I was very excited.
And he's still doing them. He comes to my office and, "Get any new ones, Paul?" Mr. Carew, "You got any new ones?" I got 4. I give him the pictures and the details. He's just a nice young man.
That's good to hear.
Is that Ben Jennings that's keeping up with that?
You know Ben?
Yes, I do. I know his family.
He's a sweetheart, really nice family.
So we got the oral history walk, we got the veterans breakfast, and course, we got the parade. You want to tell us about that or?
I'm working my way to that.
He's getting there.
All right, all right.
Oh, so we've talked about the story walk, which is a great collaboration of my office and the Morse Institute Library. Thank you again, Catherine. We're doing the reading in the classrooms, which I'm really proud. I have started that, I'm not even sure how many years ago, but anyway, so we have 19 classrooms, every first grade and every kindergarten class in Dayton. All right. When I first started this project, I knew it would be a pain. I knew it would be stressful to get veterans, believe it or not, to read in the classrooms, to get 20 plus. I have 30 veterans here.
Wow.
It happened overnight. So I tell people, if you got a query done by the town, the school department, and I'm saying this to everybody in this group here, if you already had a query done the last 3 years with the school department, give my office a call. When are we doing those, Rose, on Wednesday and Thursday?
The readings are Wednesday and Thursday, Paul.
Wednesday and Thursday, and if you want to, Rose is coming. Boss, what's her name? She's coming. I'm not kidding. Angela Snell. So anybody here, if you want to come down, Donna, or any of you want to come down, just let me know in advance. And as long as you have a recent query in the last 3 years, you're welcome down, sit in the classroom. And if there's only one of us reading the classrooms, I'm gonna hand a book to you, Kater. There you go, your turn to read, you know?
The query has to be through the schools? Cause I have a
Yeah.
query through some other
No,
organization.
it has to be
Okay.
on file with the
Through
school.
the school, yeah.
Does it take a long time to get it?
No, to 2 days.
Okay.
2 days, so if I went today, there'd be time to. I had one, I don't know if it's still active.
You went today, Bobby, yes.
Okay.
You know who to see down there.
Good to know.
And through the school system in particular, as opposed to through the government side of the town?
Yes.
So the school office, not the
The
net,
school office,
not the
Julie
school itself.
Skipper and her
Okay.
assistant are doing the queries.
Okay,
You know who her assistant is?
And Hemingway,
Ken
Jen
Hemingway.
Hemingway.
Rosa knows everything. Thank you, Rosa. So what we did is I started this program, I forget how many years ago. And what we do is we buy books. We buy 30 books this year, Rosa?
25
25.
books, Paul.
25, perfect. And pass it around. These are the books. Show Carrie thinks she's probably want to read.
I was gonna talk to you after the meeting. I'm actually flying out of town on Thursday. Won't be back until Monday, the 11th. I was gonna do flags or something for you, but we'll talk afterwards.
All right, great.
A wedding down in Florida. How about that?
Well, cool, guys.
so these are the books that you will read to the kids.
Right.
Is what you're passing out. And then what do you do with the books after you read them?
Donation to the schools.
That's wonderful, that's what I was thinking you were gonna say.
I was the librarian at Memorial for 6 years, and so they often keep them in the library during that time, and then when the veterans were coming, we would pull them.
What year was that you were up this?
I was there from 2017 to 2023 in the library.
That's probably about when I started.
Yep.
the program, Yeah,
Yep, it was a new program, and
Yeah.
we entered them into our library.
yeah, great. Yeah, and it's, you know, so I'm gonna make copies of this. Kathleen, I'm gonna pass it out to the school teachers.
Thank you.
Wednesday and Thursday, and also we're, me and Rose in the community service department are doing some sort of thing at the Kennedy School on election day, so I'll bring some up to Kennedy too, so I'll get him around, I'm around town, so. If anybody can pass any around, just call my office, I'll give you as many as you want. So reading in the classrooms, now we're gonna get to, Veterans Day itself. Now, Veterans Day, we all know is November 11th. We have a little change this year in the parade. Parade started last year behind the police and firehouse. Well, the police want to keep it there. So, so I says, fine. You guys are providing security, I'll do it wherever you want, so we're doing it there again. And we just walk out to East Central, down to West Central, across some Forest Ave, down Pond, and to the library. So the library, this year is, kicks off at what, 9 AM, Rosa?
9 AM, Paul.
Okay, so we form it up at 8:30 behind the police and fire. 9 AM, we're kicking off, less than a mile parade. Then we do our short speeches on the front of the library steps. You know that, right, Kathleen? We're gonna be at the library around 10 o'clock.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and we're gonna do our speeches and so forth. I'm looking for any of you guys ordained ministers or girls? Hmm?
Now, are you looking for one to do the invocation?
Yes, the chaplain at the base got emergency leave. He won't be here Monday. So now I'm scurrying to get some sort of clergy. How about
We can ask. I don't know whether she would be available or not, but
she's great, I love her, I sit on a committee with her, yeah,
oh yeah.
Yeah, she's a
I'm
hot
trained
take.
as,
Freedom Trail,
I'm trained,
Freedom Team.
I'm trained as a chaplain, a Catholic chaplain, and I'm happy to do it if you can't find anybody.
Okay, that's good to know too.
Let me know, Doug, if you talk to her.
Yeah, I'll reach out. Today's her day off, so I probably wouldn't hear it until tomorrow, but
I have.
good to know that Donna can be the backstop.
Freedom Team, Doug, you ought to get them on sometime.
Yeah.
They're a new grassroots organization. There's at least 4 or 5 clergy on this, right?
I think so, yeah.
Wait, does anybody here have a connection to somebody who's on the, would be good to ask is it the Council of Ministers in?
Yes.
You mean the interfaith?
The interfaith,
Yeah.
yeah, just.
Yeah, well,
instead of-
Cindy is.
Right, but instead of going to Cindy, why don't we just go to that group?
That, yeah.
Then-
that
Well, we
group.
can go to them through her. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the only way to
Contact
go to the group is go to a member of the group.
I'd rather target, say, like,
Yeah.
last year I targeted, Father Chip Hines,
Okay,
pastor of St. Pat's. So I usually had a rabbi the year before. So yeah, it's nice for that personal, pick someone out,
yes, okay.
you know,
I see what you're saying.
Pastor Becky, or one of them, you know?
Okay.
So so we march in the parade. I had mentioned that, Veterans Treatment Court, Middlesex County, today is the last day. Judge Michael Fabry will be presiding over Veterans Treatment Court. And, we're acknowledging that today, but the reason I bring up Mike Fabry's name is he's my keynote speaker on Monday. He's an Air Force veteran, served during the Vietnam era. I've known him for 40-something years. He's a great guy, great man. And he's my keynote speaker for Monday.
Hmm.
And Monday, for your information, Monday is the 70th anniversary of the United States Congress passing a law making Veterans Day an official holiday.
Hmm.
So. I will talk about that a bit, how that transcribed. So, yeah, so we got the breakfast covered, we got the reading in the classrooms covered, we have the, parade covered. So it's a busy week, you know, people think that these things.
You think?
I think
Yeah,
these things should-
puts it mildly, yeah.
Yeah.
People think these things just pop in and there you are, and all you do is write it down and you're done. But, I'm actually, as soon as I'm done on Memorial Day, I'm gonna have a suitcase in my trunk. And I'm heading up to the beach for 3 days.
Nice.
A
You deserve it,
well-deserved
Paul.
break. Well,
So
that's been a
that's my-
terrific
a couple-
overview, but
Couple of things I just wanted to mention, you know, I have a couple of other programs I started, in the state. I started, suicide education awareness prevention, panel concept in, 2017. Here in Natick, I started the first ever panel concept, in the country, actually. Because of that, because of my work my work for the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office, one of my, duties on the Sheriff's Department, I was the, suicide prevention awareness officer for the County Sheriff's Department. And so I brought that home with me to Natick. Unfortunately, you can't be in this business of a national service officer working with veterans day in and day out and not have a loss here or there to suicide. Unfortunately, no matter how good you are, you can't read everybody. You can be with somebody today and tomorrow you read about them. So that's the unfortunate thing with suicide. I can teach them all day long on how to read people, how to be aware, how to be preventive. But in the end, more often than not, we're gonna win the battle. Makes me happy.
Paul, could
Um,
you
I just-
explain? Oh, sorry.
Sarah had a question. She hadn't gotten the hand up, but
Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, this is just a quick question. A number of years ago, there was a proposal to put some veterans housing down off of like I think at the corner of Speen and or Mill rather and 135, and that land didn't turn out to be workable. This is somewhat just of interest and somewhat with my community preservation hat on, whether there is anything in the works of putting up any kind of veterans housing in town, or has that kind of been figured that that's not something that's gonna work out?
Oh, it's still very much on my radar. You know, people say, why does Dave need veterans housing? You don't have any homeless problems. Well, I spent a week and a half last week working with somebody on getting somebody off the streets of Natick, living in his Range Rover. He had been living in his Range Rover probably a year. And then it's brought to a lot of attention that he's doing that. And another veteran from Natick was nice enough to take him into his home. And he stayed in his home for a period of time. But the veteran the veteran owned the home, had to leave town. So he asked me if I could find housing, and I did. One of the select board members worked with me hand in hand and getting this done. And we get them into housing and so forth, so. Happy ending. It's unfortunate that this guy, who I've known for years, it's unfortunate that this guy was living in a car in our hometown of Natick. You know, we didn't see it. And it goes again, the same thing was you can't see everything, you know? And
Mhm.
I didn't know until somebody told me, you know, Kevin's living in this car. And I said, "Ooh, I thought he was living, yeah, he's living in his car," and that's when this other veteran sprang into action. He inherited his parents' house, so he took Kevin in. Unfortunately, Kevin has a 15-year-old dog, so that relationship did not last too long.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, but you know, I thought it would be a real challenge finding housing for a veteran with service dog. When I say service dog, he's not one of those bright vested dogs with rescue service on it. He was actually served in the military.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Kevin rescued him from the farm in Tennessee and took him home, because when you're in the military and you're serving combat with these dogs, when you leave combat, the dog goes to a farm. You cannot, even though you built up this 2, 3, 4 year relationship with the animal, you can't have them. Isn't that a shame?
Yeah.
I think it's wrong.
Hmm. So I know Cindy had her hand up. I also want to make sure we reserve enough time to talk about the Black Lives Belong group too, so.
Yeah, so I got one more, let's go City for a question.
Yeah.
I want to understand
Sitting right next to you.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, City.
Hi, Cindy. I want to understand better about the suicide panels that you started, like, so, and where are they? Who's on the panel? Who comes to the panel? How many people? And how do you get the word out? That kind of stuff.
The hardest thing you just mentioned is getting the word out.
Okay.
Okay, that's the toughest. I had one panel at a native location. Well, there was seven panelists and 5 people in the audience. My panelists are anywhere from someone like myself, who's worked with people for many, many years on suicidology, to Dr. Art Ferguson for the Native School Department. You know, clinical psychologist, to who you're trying to get a hold of, to other clinical psychologists, to psychologists. My regular is does a cognitive behavioral therapy group with me on Saturday morning. He's a retired psychologist, deals with framing. So the panels are pretty diverse, from a suicide survivor, gun in hand, gun went off, survived, to veterans that were serving with another veteran that committed suicide. And that's not even mostly combat, that's mostly stateside that this happens. I can talk for hours about PTSD coming home, but I won't, because you guys are gonna throw me out. So anyway, it's easy for me to get a panel together. And I know I won't get it done, but I want to do one in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. The most vulnerable time for everybody, not just veterans, everybody. The highest at risk are twofold. 22 to 27, 28, and 65 and older. They take them over the lead, 65 and older. That leaves most of you guys in the room out. Except for me. But you know, yeah, so you understand, yeah, so if you're interested, I'm gonna do a lot of social media stuff. I'm not good at it, but I have friends that are good at it, and get it out there as much as possible. I'm gonna bring it back to native, to where it started. I wanna do it native again, but I want native.
So you've been doing these around the state? The split
in
family?
out of state.
In and out of state? Okay, okay.
So I don't wanna get discouraged. So I'm gonna do it in Natick again. Like I say, my last time in Natick was 7 panelists and 5 in the audience, so that was discouraging. But I did some afterwards, so it didn't stop me from doing them. It just made me a little disappointed. And I wasn't disappointed in my work, I wasn't disappointed in my group of panelists. I was disappointed in the community's lack of community support that I had.
Mhm.
When I thought I was a mayor of Natick. Was that right, Doug? When it's really Doug. Again.
No, it's not me. And yeah, Paul, we can't thank you enough for man, you got your fingers in so many things. It's amazing between you and Rosa how much you get done. We certainly thank you for it. And it isn't just veterans. You wanted to tell us about Black Lives Belong, and I'm particularly interested in looking at Bruno's shirt there. It looks like we already have some a shirt for the organization. So tell us about that.
So they started this group. I was invited to be part of this group from day one. You and grassroots cat Sally Hawkins is involved. Dr. McKenzie's involved.
Debbie, Deborah, Sarah.
Debbie was all I say.
Sarah.
Oh, fair, yes.
Sarah.
I said the same thing.
Of
Sarah.
Kids Connect? That's
Yeah.
the same, yeah.
The farmer's market.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's a great grassroots group. Bruno went down to town hall and took out the proper paperwork. Whatever it's called. And we got that paperwork. We got a bank account and we got some really nice looking shirts.
And do you guys have a mission statement yet, or like how would you describe what the purpose of the group is?
We do have a mission
I
statement.
can read a short version of it.
Bruno.
Yeah, that would be good.
Right to the point.
So we're trying to introduce our new organization, Black Lives Belong, dedicated to promoting justice and equality for all, with a focus on people of color in Natick and surrounding areas. We aim to create a safe and inclusive environment for youth throughout the school system, ensuring their voices are heard. Together, we strive for a future where Black lives are protected and celebrated. And we invite everyone to join us in this mission, contributing in any capacity you choose, as your support would be crucial to our success. So we're striving to be like a multi-generational group.
That's one of the things that Bruno was pushing at the last meeting. We've already had several students from the high school come to our group meetings.
Wow, that's
What's your mother?
Debbie.
Debbie. And these children are beautiful, right? And their interest is dynamic. They're aggressive, you know, they're great to promote this at the school level. These kids aren't quiet kids like I used to be in high school. These kids are quiet now though. These kids are outgoing and charismatic and the whole 9 yards. They're gonna get youth involved in this group, and that's where we have to start. We have to start with the youth. I mean, some of us are a little bit older.
Not some of us, it's you.
Oh! Did you hear that, Doug?
No, I just heard your reaction, Paul. It sounded like it was a good zinger. I
I
don't.
said, some of us are just old. He says, no, just you.
Yeah, well, it's great to hear about it. So I know you guys have a Facebook page, I think. I was trying to search for you online and I think I found that, but how do we learn more about the organization? Get
We
involved.
do have a Facebook page, and I wanted to say too, building on what Paul said about the youth, it's really good because we do have youth who have experiences of racism in Natick and in the schools. And they're very poignant and sharing and vulnerable and sharing their experiences with us. And I think some of us thought, well, do we need to do this? And I mean, Bruno convinced me that yes, we do need to do this. I mean, we don't have a group strong enough in Natick that's focusing on the needs of our people of color, our Black people, and that we need allies and a place for people of color to come together to work jointly and multi-generational. And Paul's such an important part because of his work. I mean, his work with veterans is amazing, as you can see. And I was at that presentation on suicide. I had a student who committed suicide, and it was actually really helpful for me to listen to that. The content was excellent and it was an outstanding presentation, but because so many of our veterans are people of color, that's really also an important connection for us. And there's sadly a connection with depression and suicide and all of that. So I just want to say how important, and Bruno's amazing. His drums are like a heartbeat, and sometimes you don't have the words for things. I mean, Judy probably knows that from her Spark Kindness work, but you know, music and drums, and they say more than we can say with all our verbiage.
Well, you know, today, when I bid farewell to Judge Fabry, I guess I'm the facilitator for that event. But when we do that farewell, I'm thinking about the veterans of color that belong to Veterans Treatment Court. We just had one that was sent to Bridgewater. He graduated from the court, and he was sent to Bridgewater State Hospital for assault and I think this kid was, I love the kid. I thought he was doing so well. And next thing you know, he walks the lobby of his apartment house he's living in Walden, and he starts beating up this kid. This guy's mid-30s, was doing so well. You know, he used to give me a hug at court every week. And I said, what happened to make Dino snap, you know? And I won't know. I will know when I eventually talk to him. But he's gonna end up starting and doing Veterans Treatment Court, a 2-year program over again because of one bad morning. And he was there. And this young man I worked with closely, hand in hand, he was never a violent veteran.
I'm
Always
sure
had drug use.
been put
I
through
add
some
to- I wanna
extraordinary
add to-
things. Yeah, go ahead, Donna.
I just want to quickly add to that you'll be seeing more of this group, more of our group that will be at the farmer's market in a couple of weeks, and we have swag. You can order shirts. We can tell you more about it. We have there's a Facebook web page, and marketing is not our strong point yet. But I also want to say too, we see ourselves building on the work of Natick for Black Lives Matter. We don't see ourselves at odds with that group at all. And we in fact I'm in conversation a lot with Deborah Mitchell, and she's actually excited that we're gifting her with one of our shirts. And I just want to say that because we don't subscribe to we try to empower people. We think that's important, and that's what we want to do. And our mission, as Bruno described it, is probably more Natick centered and more multi-generational, I think, than Natick for Black Lives was. So that's how we see ourselves. It's a little bit different, if that's helpful.
Yeah,
So,
that's good to know.
Cindy has her hand up.
Yep.
So the work that you envision is working with kids in the schools or working with kids outside of the school?
That's part of it.
Okay,
Part of the mission is engaging the youth. So far, we've engaged at least three youth that are in the high school. And one of the girls is really a superstar. She's engaging people.
Lolo.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she's terrific, and I saw another girl at some event, and she comes out with her brother, she says, I'm looking forward to recruiting people for your group. I says, I'm looking forward to you doing the same thing.
Well, we want to do a series of listening sessions as we build ourselves and try and grow, and we're gonna start off meeting with Dr. Art Ferguson and talking about the youth and the schools and you know, how we might serve or be of help there.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I just had two suggestions for points of contact. One is, I'm on the planning committee for the MLK celebration this year. So, they're having, somebody would want to join in that planning activity or not. But there's also going to be, the typical, you know, community resource fair activities. They're gonna do that before the program this year because it's inauguration day. And they figure people are gonna wanna get home and either bury their head in the sand or tune in in celebration. And the other point of contact I thought you might enjoy is Simone Gill is a town resident, and she has started an organization called Focus, Families of Color Unite and Support, specifically trying to connect obviously families of color and community together to provide informal support and socialization, but they might enjoy connecting with your group, and I can contact.
Has she been involved with Spark Kindness at all?
Is she involved in Spark? She's actually on the planning committee for the Martin Luther King. She goes to First Congregational Church, which is how I know her, and I know that she spoke, she was one of the speakers at the Juneteenth
That's what I got, yeah, okay.
celebration last year.
Yeah,
She's
right.
a professor of
Yeah.
occupational therapy
Oh, I
at
know.
BU.
I know it.
Okay, so just a couple of
Yeah.
connections that might be great.
She's great.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Judy. And I mean, I think that's one of the values of this group is collectively, the members of this group are involved in so many different things. I think that the assignment for all of us is just, you know, get the word out, let folks know. When Paul told me that he wanted to include this subject in today's session, he copied all of the select board on it. And I asked him, why'd you do that? And he said, because they should know. and he's right. So, you know, it's like, just tell everybody, hey, you guys are all involved in a bunch of stuff. And yeah, we just got to sort of organically make the awareness of this group out there.
I think, Doug, that you and Martin and Sarah, you know, you're doing a great thing on Monday mornings. I try to make it as much as I can. You know, whether it's a subject I'm totally wrapped around or engaged in or not. I learned something at every one of these coffee with a purposes, every one you have on Monday morning. I'm not a town meeting member anymore, but that's important to me as a town resident. How often do I get to talk to town meeting members? Most of them walk the other direction when they walk down the street. Yeah, so, yes. But yeah, but I love it, and I think it's I think, you know, it's a great educational tool for all of us involved. And we're only a small part of it. From here, I can go talk to somebody else. Martin can go talk to somebody else. We can all talk to someone else and tell them what we talked about. Right? And build up this dynamic, so this special program every Monday morning.
Yep.
I think it's great too that you had Paul here this morning. I mean, I feel like, God, I knew things about veterans services, but I really learned a lot more. So I really appreciated like that opportunity, and this PowerPoint presentation that he shared was so comprehensive. So I
Yeah,
did.
yeah, if you can get a copy of that to me, Paul, I'll make sure that the full group has it available to them.
I'll send it to you,
Yeah.
Wednesday. I got.
Yeah, yeah, you got a busy week, whenever you get a chance, so,
And
yeah.
House arrest
terms of-
tomorrow.
In terms of reaching out to people, also, this group knows a lot of interesting people. We're always looking for interesting speakers. So, you know, if you have a suggestion of somebody that you know that you think would be interesting, that would be willing to come to Coffee with a Purpose, that would be great.
Yeah, we've got
I'm
slots
gonna-
available in December now, actually, so, yeah.
I'll send you a surprise name.
Yeah,
I
so I
would say
guess,
there are
yeah, go
no
ahead, Rick.
uninteresting.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any uninteresting people. And
Good point.
yeah, and I think hearing directly from veterans here. I mean, Paul's obviously a veteran and, you know, can speak for many, but hearing a story, I hope we all get out and read the story walk and get to do these
Yeah,
things.
Wonderful.
Catherine, I encourage everybody to get out there and, you know, there's 150 names and we don't have time to go through them, but there's 150 names and most all the names, we, you know, almost a lifetime resident there. I know most every one of them personally,
Wow.
and probably
Yeah.
a third of them, at least a third or more are gone.
Wow.
But their oral histories are still alive.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
That's important. But
Thank
I
you.
was one of the near 300 do my own oral history. I didn't want to do it. I says, why do I have to do an oral history? Everybody in Natick knows Paul Carew. Right?
Someday they
Right?
might not.
That's right.
You're right.
Well, we don't know.
Really into myself, Catherine.
so, that pretty much wraps us up for today. And because Veterans Day is on Monday, this year,
Also,
next
you're
Monday, we're all
all,
gonna be at the parade, right? And
Oh,
at
you're
the
all-
library.
every one of you here, I'm promoting my Veterans Day launching at my building. Everybody in this room, veteran, non-veteran, you're invited to my Veterans Day luncheon catered by TJ Spears and Ashland. Hot, cold buffet. Every one of you. Don't say
And
I'm
where
not
is
a
that, Paul?
veteran. Don't say I'm not a veteran, I'm not going. I said, everybody in this group on screen and in person are my guests.
That's at the.
Thank you, Paul. Where is that luncheon?
It's at the community center, 117 East Central Street, from 11:30 to 1 P.M.
Right.
Okay. And to make you all happy. No speeches. Speeches are all done in front of the library. Nobody's gonna make a speech. How's that?
It's a deal.
All right. Well, good luck with everybody getting through election day tomorrow, and go watch those or veterans oral history. And,
Gary said he wants to
we'll
buy me a
see you on
drink.
Monday.
27 years old, 27 years old, he wants to buy me a drink.
Iced tea, not a Long Island iced tea.